Today we are cleaning my studio/sunroom. I dearly love this room, but it's always filled with multiple projects in process and it's hard to keep her clean. So I figured I needed a refresh in here, and after watching a few other people cleaning out their spaces, I figured I'd also share the process of me cleaning out mine. This is not because I have anything new to share, and it's definitely not because I want to flex a pristinely organized room on you afterwards. Be forewarned, it's not going to happen. But if I was inspired by others, why not try and pay it forward? Stuff tends to accumulate. It's just life. We all know it. And when you're an artist, you know it even more. Being mid-project almost always means living in at least a small mess for a little while. I still tidy up between work sessions, but sometimes it's all I can do just to clean my brushes after painting. But when you don't keep up with cleaning, it's harder to keep up with systems, and then the way a room functions will slowly start to decay.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh. How does one dispose of a lizard corpse? How did that happen? He's been dead for weeks. My child has been playing there.
So after that traumatic incident, I proceeded with caution in clearing any more of the floors. I was definitely convinced that there was going to be a spider or a lizard or something elsewhere. My vacuum also wasn't working properly. It didn't seem to be getting much suction, so I opened it up and I found that it was clogged with Christmas. I really should have waited for Maverick to help me move this coffee table in here because it is solid wood and it is freaking heavy. But I was determined to get it done for no better reason than I was impatient. So here we are, just one achy breaky back later. I had to try out a few things as far as table settings. What are they called when it's on a coffee table? When I am cleaning a room in which I know most, if not all, of the stuff in the room is meant to be there, I will work from one end of the room to the other, or section to section, starting with the section that I know will take the least amount of time. And couches, pillows, blankets, all that kind of stuff always takes less time to tidy than, say, the cabinets. As I work, I either put stuff away if it goes in that section of the room, or I push it off to the next session. This is the procrastinator's dream clean. I do have to say though, this works best in a room like this one, where if I'm interrupted in the middle, it's not a big deal because I can just shut the door and walk away and I just have a half clean, half messy room, but still progress. Whereas if you were doing this in, say, your kitchen or your living room or some area that you need to, function, that'd be a little more difficult. I moved on to the shelf area where I've kept most of my art prints in files, as well as just a bunch of odds and ends that I really can't throw away, but it has no proper home. But if it's paper and it's related to my business or projects in some way, it winds up here. Again, this strategy is just to get it all out in the open and look at it all. I do not pretend to have the patience these days to Marie Kondo everything and pick up every single piece of paper and decide if it sparks joy or is necessary. So instead, I came up with a system of taking all the little odds and ends of like random art prints or things that I've clipped out that I really liked or meant something to me at the time, and I don't really want to throw it away. And instead of letting them just like clog up my other folders, I put them all in one big collage folder. So if it's a miscolored photo or a copy that didn't turn out right or whatever, it all just went in this folder. And once I started doing this, I was amazed at how much art that wasn't really art was taking up my art space. I know that was confusing, but now you know how I feel. This was definitely the most time-consuming task of the whole room because I was really trying to pare down what I actually felt I needed to keep, but a lot of it was stuff that's still very meaningful to me. One thing that is not meaningful to me, however, is envelopes. If you like to keep handwritten notes people have given you over the years, I am all for it. I do it too. But there is usually not a good enough reason to hold on to the envelope, what do you say? There's usually not a good enough reason to hold onto an envelope that doesn't add anything to the sentiment. But it's keeping the cards safe. No, it doesn't. Stop it. Stop. That envelope barely did that job when it was going through the postal service. So then I got distracted looking at old pictures of P-Best and Laura on Kodak CD-ROMs, and I didn't return to cleaning that night, or the whole next week. When I returned, of course, the sitting side of the room was still beautiful and pristine, but I had to finish putting crap away now. I have some thrifted clothes that I picked up because I really like the fabrics and I want to use them for scrap, but it's easy for those things to just accumulate, and they've just been sitting in a pile. So I got to work folding those and making my fabric cabinet make a little bit more sense to me. Okay, quick rant time. If you are a normal cleaning content consumer, you'll probably notice that I didn't throw a bunch of fabric away or put it in the cabinet in a super aesthetically pleasing way. But that's just because it's my cabinet and I know where everything is now. I think we need to see more people on social media just cleaning to the degree that everyday people do. No hate to organizers. I love a good organization. I know how satisfying it is to see that sort of thing and to see people throw away hordes of stuff that was just clogging up their life. There is a time for that, and I am not against it. But we need to remember that it's also okay to just take care of what you have in the way that works for you. You don't need everything to be color coordinated or evenly spaced to be organized. You just need to know where things go and put them back where they came from. Preferably in a way that doesn't cause an avalanche every time you pull something out. Okay, rant over. I'm gonna share with you my number one cleaning hack that has always worked for me. It just makes things so simple, so straightforward, and it takes almost no time. Watch this. I've got this cupboard filled with a lot of odds and ends of jewelry making stuff and printing stuff, and then a little bit of sewing stuff I couldn't fit in my other cabinet, and then ultimately packaging stuff. And this is what I'm gonna do. 10 out of 10. Works every time. So now I was officially in the odds and ends bit of the night, but not before pulling out the iPod Nano I got when I was 16 and listening to a bunch of songs I hadn't heard in ages. Boy, do you know you're old when you hear a song from your teen years and it fires you up as much as it fired me up. I also did a lot of knee walking, but enjoy my dance breaks, which most of it I couldn't help. I know it's gonna look like, yes, but you're in control of your body. And I wanna tell you that that is almost true. That is not all the way true. Like a little bit in the back of my mind, I specifically recorded this to embarrass my son when he's older. Like I just can't wait to make him cringe. So let me know how I did. Also though, this is what we did before TikTok. I got a camcorder when I was 12 and pretty much all of my home videos are not of these like super sweet, tender memories. They are me and my friends and my sisters lip syncing to music badly with bad makeup on and some pretty chunky highlights. Reliant K is still my jam though, not gonna lie. Give me a big thumbs up if you think that this should be my signature look from now on. Although I will forewarn you, I'm not likely to appease. Finally, I was down to my desk area, which I had saved for last because I knew it would take the most mental power. But watching it in this way, it's honestly just kind of like there's nothing to it. But I essentially just had to make a lot of quick decisions about where everything would go, and then it was over. So now the room is clean, everything is put in its proper place, but that doesn't mean that there aren't still spots that look a little cluttered, and that's okay. Not to mention the pile of stuff that I had pushed out of the room, which still needs to be dispersed elsewhere in the house. It is all currently sitting in the living room chair. When I came in the next morning, though, I was so refreshed. Thank you guys for joining me in all my little antics. I hope that you got some out of this, or you at least just enjoyed watching it. I hope your day is fantastic, and you remember that you've got what it takes. See you guys next time.